Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Bethel, and on this channel I make a lot of random videos but mostly sewing videos. So if you want to learn how to sew, you're in the right place. Talking about sewing videos, learning how to sew, I also have a Telegram group. It's not really a school, but it's more of like a support chat for if you have any questions from my videos, or if you're working on the projects and need like fast answers. We've been really good on the group, and we're like close to 100 people on the group. So if you ask a question, somebody's going to definitely answer before 1 hour. Go ahead and check the description box and I will tag the group there. Today's video is actually a request from someone on the group. They were having issues with me. Oh, I have a mic, bro. I am so obsessed. I want to jump you. See how I just remembered mid-shooting that I had a mic. Okay, so my sister got me a mic as a gift. So I just want to see if it actually makes a difference. So let me know. But like I was saying before I interrupted myself, this video is going to be about how to make that. It was a request from somebody on the Telegram group. They weren't having it easy making that, so they asked that I made a video on how to make that. So if you have any requests for videos, let me know and I will get to it. I know I've not been consistent. I know life hasn't been lifing lately, but I'm still gonna make videos. Especially if you request it, I'm definitely gonna make it. So now talking about that, the first thing you need to understand is why we use that. So the main reason why we use that is to shape clothes. If you look at the human body, I'm wearing something skimpy so you can look at the human body. But if you look at the human body, we're not straight. So the clothes should not be straight. And it's a little bit weird to like find fitting around this area or like around the back area. So that are like curves that are sewn to accentuate, if that is English, to kind of highlight certain parts of the body. For example, to highlight the bust area, because that's like the most like pokey part. So it comes like this to highlight the bust area. Without the that, even if you give it side shaping, it's still going to look straight when you sew it. But the that gives it that curve that you need to get the bust. So now for skirts, for example, the that is also there to like highlight the hip. And also if you look at your body, this part is not just straight like this. It sort of goes down, and then around your thigh it sort of comes up, especially for those people who like work out. You're going to notice that it's like this, right? Then their thigh is kind of like this slight bump. So you want to take that into consideration. You can always sew a skirt without that, but I don't think that's wise, because it's always going to look puffy here, like it's kind of gathering. If a skirt is kind of gathering right here, it's because it's missing that. So we're adding that to give it this figure, and also to make sure that our hip is going to like kind of, how do I put this, it's going to highlight the waist, because it's going to be smaller up here, and then it's going to be bigger up here, rather. So it's going to highlight the waist and highlight the hip a little bit more. And then with that, you can actually get the butt curve. When you use that, it makes the butt looks better than without that. This top part, for example, you see this, how this pants look, right? See how my pants look? It's kind of gathered on the top part. But imagine that it was actually sewn and kind of like tight like this. You see the difference that made? It kind of brought my butt out and made it look like I had butt. That's exactly what that do. They kind of like highlight certain parts of the body. So now that we've spoken about what that do and why we have that, this video is going to talk about how to sew skirts that the proper way. I'm going to make a different video talking about the bust that, because that's a whole different ball game. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the pattern we drafted from the last video and cut out the skirt from it. I just really want you guys to know how to use the pattern to cut that basic bodies to cut out different things. That's why I'll be using it to cut out like a very, very short mini skirt. Be right back. Oh wait, I don't have to be right back. It's right here. This mic is actually very long. Wow. Ouch. Okay, so this was the pattern we cut in the last video. Okay, you guys remember the basic bodies pattern. Okay, so for this practical, I'll be using my muslin as usual, because I cannot come and be wasting my actual fabric. I mean, I would make a skirt for myself, but I'm not going to finish sewing it, because I know how my life is right now. Okay, so I'll fold this thing into two, then I'll place my pattern on it. So now to cut my skirt, what I'll be doing is placing the center front on the fold, and then I'll put my pin. So now, since this is not an actual thing that I'm sewing, I'm not going to add allowance, because as you can see, I'm really minimizing this material. But if I was trying to sew an actual thing for myself, remember when we were cutting these bodies, we did not add any allowance. So I'll go ahead and add, since you guys are starting to learn, I'll say add 2 inches to this side if you're cutting like an actual skirt. I have a whole video on how to sew an actual skirt, so that way, if you want to actually learn how to cut a skirt, you can just watch that video. So I'm just going to add this length very slightly like this. I just want to show you guys that. So it's going to be like a really mini skirt. Then I'm going to like just follow this So if I was sewing the skirt, this is how it's going to be. Then I'm going to stop here. Then I'm going to notch. Okay, actually I can just fold it like this. So I'm just folding on the line so that way I can get my waist. So that's my front. So now remember that I can use my front to cut my back. I don't necessarily need the pattern. I just need to add 2 inches to whatever I have. It is a really mini skirt and it's kind of cute too. So let me cut out my back. So now for the back, I'll just add, I'm not measuring really. Remember, you gotta add like 1.5 inch or ½ inch, or just add something for the zip allowance. So that's what I'm adding right here. That's why there's this space right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Again, if you guys want to watch the video of the skirt, I have how many videos of skirts do I have? Actually, I think I have just one video of like straight skirt on my channel. Go ahead and watch it. It's very detailed. Okay, so remember to cut this open. So this is it. So now this is our waist. The first thing you need to do is add your dart. What I always use for my dart is 4 inches from the center front. So I'm going to leave my fabric just like this, and then 4 inches from the center front right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark my mark for my dart. So that's going to be like right here. So I'm going to fold it like this, and then I'm going to have a notch. That's the first thing when you're sewing a skirt dart. So now this way I know the only reason for the notch is just so that you know where the dart is going. That's the only reason. It's not so you know how far you're sewing. No, nothing like that. The only reason for the notch is so you know where the dart is going. Understood? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. So now this is my back here, right? Then put this here like this, and then this is my front. So now if I was to take this to my sewing machine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this like this, and then say this is the wrong side of the fabric. Let me write wrong. Where's my pen? Let me just do some sort of, so this is the design of the fabric. So now we know that this is the front of our fabric because we have designs here and we don't have any on the back. So now I'm going to put this like this. This is the front, right? Fold this like this. And then what I'll be doing when I go to my sewing machine, you can do it from the table, but I just prefer to do it on my sewing machine. I'm going to measure ½ inch here. Whatever allowance you add to the waist, like, you know, to the thing, you're going to add, oh, I already added it in, never mind. From the basic bodice, you guys, if you watch that video, you're going to remember I added it in. So now I'm sure I added ½ inch. If I measure the thing on my pattern, it's going to be ½ inch. So I'm going to add that ½ inch back here. So place my tape like this, measure ½ inch, and then from ½ inch I'm going to measure 6 inches downwards. I always do my dart 6 inches. In very rare cases I do it 5, but I always do it 6. So now from this part we're going to sew a straight line. So like this, we're going to draw a straight line like so, and all we are doing basically, guys, is just sewing on this straight line. That's our dart. Like, that's literally our dart, sewing on that straight line. I hope that's like very self-explanatory. I'm still going to sew it, but I want you guys to see what I'm actually sewing. We're sewing out, we're not sewing straight. If you sew straight, you're going to end up having some kind of like puckery, some puckers, or like some, it's not going to be balanced basically. So this is what we're sewing on. So now this is the front dart. I'm going to give you another example of the back dart. So now you can do the back dart. So this is the back dart. This is our front side of the fabric. This is our design. Okay, so now for the back dart, I'm going to take this, and then again I'm going to fold front on front like so, as where my notch is. So now with the back dart, you can sew it the exact same way as the front. But then again, remember the purpose of sewing that. We are trying to shape the body. So what I do is I do not sew it the exact same way as the front. But as you're starting out, you can do that if this is confusing to you. So what I'm going to do is for the back dart, I usually add a little bit more allowance. So I add about ¼ So right here, instead of half, I add 3/4. Sorry, I add 3/4. So it's going to be right here. So it's kind of bigger. But then I still use 6 inches. Like this. So for the back dart, instead of drawing a straight line, what I do is I sort of draw a curve. So it's, can you guys see how it's giving that curve? Like the butt is right there. So just remember that it's the butt you're trying to, like, you know, emphasize. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw this as a curve. So if I'm sewing it, this is the curve I'm sewing out, just like this for the back dart, because the butt is curved. No, if your butt is straight, then you can do it straight, but because the butt is curved, we're going to be doing a curved line. Again, it's going to work perfectly fine straight though, but personally I don't like to do it straight. So this is what it looks like. So now I'm just going to take you to the machine and show you guys how to sew this on the sewing machine. Okay, now I'm going to start by sewing the front dart. So you guys can see I'm going to just be sewing on the line, but I'm going to do it from the opposite side because I can't. You can. Okay, one more thing is, don't start from this part because you don't want to back stitch at this part. So I'm going to start from this top part and then just sew out. So put it at ½ inch. My ½ inch, my sewing machine is going to be here, and then you can start to sew. So when I start to sew, since I don't have my measurement here, if you want, you can draw this thing on all 4 sides. So I'm just showing you how to do it without drawing it, but you can always draw and just sew on the line. So I'm just going to measure. This is 6 inches right here. So all I'm doing is from here I'm just sewing out like this. When you get to the end, do not top stitch. So I'm just going to cut a little bit away so it doesn't unravel like this, and then I'm going to cut this one very close to it like this. So you guys see, if I turn it, you can see that I sewed right on the line. I just kind of missed it slightly, but you get the idea. So this is what the front dart should look like. I'm going to go ahead and do it again on this side so that you guys can see it again. And then my front dart is done. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew my back dart about 3/4, and then I start to sew. Then I'm going to sew up all the way to 6. For the back dart, you can actually make it shorter if you want. Then I'm going to sew. So while I sew, remember that I'm actually going to curve it. So you can see that I'm starting my curving. Yeah, just like this, and then I sew out. Does that make sense? Can you see it? You can see that it's a curve-ish. So now when somebody wears this, it's going to make the butt look slightly, more defined. So see, kind of draw on the line again, just slightly off. So if you know what you're doing, you're going to be like, every single time you don't have to draw the line because in your head you already know how it's supposed to be. So now this is what the back dart should look like, and that's what the front dart should look like. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this so that way you can sort of see the curve. And when you're ironing this, don't iron it on a straight surface. Use ironing hand. Let me show you guys actually. When you're ironing it, for the front one, you can actually just iron it straight if you wanted to, or you can also use the thing, but the front one you don't really have to worry about it. For the back one, you have to use something like this. If you don't have money to buy yours, you can make yours. So just go ahead and place it like this, and then you can see how this thing is already curved, right? It's already looking like somebody's butt. So you want to iron it on the curve like this. Now for your dart, it can face either this way or that way. But if the fabric is facing this way for the dart, see, if it's facing this way on the main fabric, your lining should face this way, so that way there's not too much bulk on just one side. I hope that makes sense. I ironed the 2 pieces, and this is what my darts are looking like. So this is the front piece. Can you see how neat that is? If your darts do not disappear into your cloth, there is something wrong. If your dart doesn't disappear, if there's no seamless transition into the fabric, there's something wrong. Look at this one too. Can you guys notice how when I place this on the table, it kind of has this ball, this bubble, that space for your butt to actually have that curve. Do you see how it actually has the curve and then it's flat here? So does it make sense what I'm trying to do with the butt? I don't know if you guys can actually see that part go up. Now imagine the other part was here, now both parts go up, and then you now wear it. That's like a whole BBL you have done there. So that's how you make back darts, and this is how you make front dart. So that's basically it. That's how to make that. If I was to wear that skirt now, my butt is going to have that curve that the butt should have. That's like a whole BBL without me paying for BBL, if you guys get. So yeah, let me know if you have any more questions about that. Try it this way and let me know if it works for you. On my next video, be explaining how to make that. But somebody requested another video. I can't exactly remember what it is right now, but somebody requested a specific video. That will probably be my next video, but I'm going to explain to you guys how to make bust that and how to actually make it shape your bust without using breast pad or any of those extra things. For now, if it's your first time here and you found the video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and join our winning team on the Telegram group. Trust me, it's fun there. We'll just share our stories, we share ideas, we ask questions, we get things answered. It's really nice. You should join it. I'm just telling you. And it's free. Subscribing is free too. But anywho, I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.